All right, it's the Sleepers video for the US Open. We're about to give away this brand new tailor-made mini driver. I'll tell you how you're going to get that here in just a second. Let's get into the sleepers for the US Open at Los Angeles Country Club. I got 3 sleepers for you today. And, these 3 names are not unknown names because obviously the field's pretty stacked for the US Open. And I'm not saying these guys are going to be super low owned, but relative to some guys priced in their range on DraftKings, I see these guys coming in between 5-7%. Maybe one of them gets up to 8%. But I'm talking about guys in the 7K, mid to low 7K range, because there's some names in the mid to low 7K range that are mispriced, that are tremendous values. If you look at the outright odds, these guys are obviously better than the DraftKings pricing that they've received. And they're getting a lot of attention. Names like Wyndham Clark, Justin Rose, Bryson DeChambeau, Ricky Fowler, Adam Scott, our boy Siwoo Kim, Mito Pereira, and Gary Woodland are some of the names that I'm already seeing a lot of steam on. And this is Tuesday around noon. So I think those names are going to continue to pile on ownership. And there's some names around them that I'm going to give you that I think offer equal or maybe slightly less upside or opportunity, but at half probably the ownership, and in some cases maybe even more than half the ownership in DFS. I'm going to start with the more expensive player at Keegan Bradley, who I could see getting up to maybe the highest of these 3 names that I'm going to give you. Maybe Keegan creeps up to like that 8%, 9% range. At 7,600. Keegan Bradley is we know who he is, right? He's a tremendous ball striker. He's got plenty of distance. He can contend whether the course requires you to hit it a long way or it doesn't. His iron play has always been exceptional. He's a major winner, but it's been a long time. PGA Championship major winner. Nearly won the Players a couple years ago. But he's Keegan Bradley. He's a familiar commodity, right? He's always had the problems with the putter, although it definitely seems the putter has turned around. Let's take a look. I'm going to share my screen on Fantasy National, and let's look at Keegan Bradley. The first thing I want to look at is his iron play, and this is the proximity numbers for Keegan Bradley. I mean, if you look over his career and even now, this long iron bucket, which you're going to have plenty of those, right? You are at a U.S. Open. I understand LACC is going to play firm and fast. That is going to make the actual yardage of 7,400 yards play a little less, but you're still going to have plenty of long iron shots, and Keegan's got those in the bag. This little bucket here from 125 to 150, I could see him setting himself up nicely for whatever range he's comfortable in. There's some awkward holes here. There's some par 4s where you could be aggressive or you could lay back. There's some par 5s that are going to be 3-shot holes, and you're going to have to plan for what yardage you want hitting into, into those long par or short par 4s and those par 5s. And I think he's going to be smart here. He's a smart player. He's played in a lot of major championships, but the long irons, this is something that not a lot of guys can do well, and Keegan Bradley has always done it well and is currently doing it well. But let's look at the strokes gain metrics as well for Keegan and look at some recent play. So, does best on bent grass, which is great. That's what we have here at LACC. Obviously loves him some difficult scoring conditions, would rather it be average or difficult than easy over his long-term career. But I mean, he's just a guy who doesn't do anything poorly, it seems, anymore. We used to always worry about the putter with Keegan, right? If you look long-term here over his entire PGA Tour career, he's been negative in strokes gained putting. But in his last 20, in his last 10, in his last 5 golf tournaments, he's gaining over a stroke on the field putting. What world are we living in? I mean, look at the putting here for Keegan. 7 strokes at Torrey Pines, almost 5.5 last time out at Memorial. And we've seen the iron play kind of be weird at times. RBC Heritage Memorial was also a little strange for Keegan. But overall, the player that we're looking at just seemingly doesn't have any issues at the moment. Let's look at the U.S. Open track record. It's kind of hit or miss. 7th place finish last year at Brookline. He was the Boston boy. He was the Massachusetts guy last year, and he delivered with a T7. T4 back in 2014, hasn't really played these U.S. Opens quite well. But I mean, 2019 was in California. It was at Pebble. I mean, I don't think that was anything close to what this is. I believe 2020 was Winged Foot. If I remember correctly, let's make sure. Yeah, 2020 was Winged Foot. Has no resemblance to this place. Now, 2018 was Shinnecock. I do see this place having some Shinnecock vibes, but it's 2018, like whatever. PGA Championship, Keegan. I mean, PGA, we definitely compare that to the U.S. Open in terms of setup and difficulty at times. I mean, look at what he's done here. Obviously, he won it in 2011. But I mean, if you're talking about a consistent cut maker with real upside, and I think Keegan does give you real upside. I love this T10 at API. Not that the layout is similar, but it's difficult. It's Bermuda. It's firm and fast. That's what we get at API. I just think Keegan Bradley is lining up to be an interesting pivot right there around guys like Ricky Fowler and Bryson DeChambeau and Adam Scott, who are going to eat up a ton of ownership in DFS. All right, so let me tell you about how you're going to win this tailor-made mini driver before I hit the other two players I'm going to give you that are going to give you some leverage in the 7K range. To win this driver, all you got to do is go visit our friends at SoBet. Here's the graphic on the screen. You're looking at it now. The link is in the description below. SoBet is the place to go if you're betting on any and every sport because they curate the handicappers, and the only people that can post on SoBet are vetted handicappers by SoBet. So these guys have to be able to actually be good at it, right? SoBet vets these people. And then when they post picks, they have to be fully transparent. They've got to give you reasons why the pick is there. They've got to tell you how many units they're putting on it. And then afterwards, they've got to give you a debrief. Did I miss? Did I lose on every pick? Did I win money? Did I not? There's full transparency on the platform, unlike something like Twitter. If you're betting on sports, any sport, SoBet has over 30, I think now close to 40 handicappers on their platform, and you can get exclusive content from them. You can get text notifications. There's promos all the time. There's more than 6,000 people cashing tickets daily on SoBet. And all you got to do is sign up with SoBet and give it a shot under our promo code. So look in the description of the video, click the link, use code TJ, and you can do one of two things. If you just want to try it out, it's $9.95 for 1 month. Then you can cancel, no big deal if you don't like it. But they are giving us a 6-month promo at just $39 for the 6 months if you use code TJ and you sign up for 6 months, which will obviously take you into the NFL season where SoBet's really going to be cooking. So if you want to check it out, do that. Also, the Tour Junkies exclusive top 40 round robin is posted every week on SoBet and is currently up 9.5 units just through a couple weeks. So check that out, SoBet. Everybody who's ever done that and everybody who does that starting now, we're going to draw a winner on next Monday night's podcast. You're all entered if you've done it before or you're doing it now. Get yourself that mini driver. It's sweet. All right, next play. I'm going to work down the board, give you two guys here in the low sevens, because in the low sevens, you've got names like Gary Woodland, Siwoo Kim. Maybe Denny McCarthy is going to eat up a little bit of ownership too, and I think these guys give you just as much upside potentially. The first one is Harris English at around 6%, $7,200 on DraftKings. This is insane, okay? Harris English has played in 25 majors between the Masters, the Open, PGA, US Open. He's played in 25 over his career. He's only missed 5 cuts in those 25 attempts, and he's never missed a cut in 7 tries at the US Open. He's only missed 2 cuts in 7 tries at the PGA Championship. That's incredible for a guy at 7,200, coming in around 5 or 6%. Let's take a look at Harris English on Fantasy National. I'm going to look at now. Here's what you're not going to see. Unlike Keegan, you're not going to see incredible long iron play from Harris English. He has been a little hit or miss lately. He's recovered from the injury. But, I mean, if we go back to look at Harris English when he was peaking, kind of before the injury, when he won the Travelers in that long playoff, I think, Kramer Hickok, like, he was pretty solid. Look at these iron play. Was very consistent. He can have peak iron play at any moment, which since the injury, the first time we really saw that was at the Wells Fargo, a long golf course where he required long irons, and he gained 7.5 strokes with the irons, with approach. But just a guy who is going to hit a lot of fairways. I mean, he's not super long, but he's long enough. He's probably tour average, maybe a little bit above tour average. Hits plenty of fairways, which will be fine here at LACC, firm and fast. And the irons can definitely pop. He's got the short game. He's got the putter. The short game is going to bail him out plenty of times when he's in trouble here at LACC. But just looking at the major championship record, and I mean, how many U.S. Opens don't require long iron ability? None of them. And he still found a way to never miss the cut. At $7,200, loving some difficult golf courses, gaining strokes on bent grass putting. I just think Harris English is too good to pass up on at that ownership when so many other people are going to go to, guys in that range. I mean, is Harris English really? I mean, Harris English is probably going to be half the ownership Denny McCarthy. Is he really is he half as bad as Denny McCarthy? No way. Harris English would be a far better play in DFS if he's really coming in that 5 or 6% range. All right, final play for me. Click the like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. We've got a bunch of content out for the US Open. So do that. Final play for me is at 7,100. Again, coming in around, I could see that 5 to 7%. Doubt he pops over 7%. But Georgia Bulldog boy, Sepp Straka, and well, also Harris English, Georgia Bulldog boy, Sepp Straka at 7,100 is the next play. Let's pull him up on Fantasy National. Take a look at him real quick. Button this bad boy up. Look at Sepp's iron play here. Now, not tremendous from 200 plus, although he was at Memorial, but not too great here. But this mid range, short to mid irons, which obviously is also going to be tested a lot here at LACC. It's going to test you through the bag. Very good. Now the wedge play is concerning. The wedge play is definitely concerning. But I love to see this for Sepp Straka. Let's look at his strokes gained metrics. By the way, Sepp Straka miscut at the U.S. Open last year at Brookline, T28 at Pebble Beach in 2019. So he's only played in 2 U.S. Opens so far. He did have a T7 at Oak Hill. Oak Hill, maybe some similarities to this place at LACC, but not many. I just think it's going to give Sepp is gaining confidence, right? Like the big Austrian is gaining some confidence. A little bit like Harris English, above tour average, probably in driving distance, but not by much, but just quite accurate and doesn't miss many greens in regulation, that's for sure. So we've just seen Sepp kind of, we've seen him pop so far in 2023. Like he could definitely deliver a miscut for us. I think he's the most volatile of the 3 guys I've got here. I think he is the one that could likely be dead by Thursday because he just absolutely implodes. But he's on a nice little consistent run here in 2023. 5th place at the Honda. Difficult golf course, can be firm and fast. Bermuda fairways and rough there at the Honda. Kind of the same thing with, well, not Valera, but Oak Hill was a good performance. The Memorial, Jack's Place, difficult test, 16th there, gained 7 strokes with the iron. I just think Sepp is popping, and at $7,100, I'm willing to take a shot on him. I think you should too. 3 sleepers in about 12 minutes. Don't forget, mini driver. Sign up for SoBet. Use our code. Try it for a month. Try it for the 6-month deal. You're not gonna regret that. I promise. And check out all the other content on the YouTube channel. We wish you the best for the U.S. Open. We'll be in the Nut Hut chat Discord on Wednesday for lunch and Wednesday night. So check it out. All right, let's have a great week. May your screens be green. See ya.